Now we stay in North America. The White House has said Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney gave in to pressure from President Donald Trump and agreed to drop a controversial tax on big U.S. tech firms. Let's listen in to what White House Press Secretary had to say.
For example, Prime Minister Carney in Canada caved to President Trump in the United States of America. And President Trump knows how to negotiate, and he knows that he is governing the best country and the best economy in this world, on this planet. And every country on the planet needs to have good trade relationships with the United States. And it was a mistake for Canada to vow to implement that tax that would have hurt our tech companies here in the United States.
Prime Minister Carney told journalists in Ottawa that Canada dropped the tax as part of a broader trade deal and reopened talks with the U.S. Trump earlier blasted the tax as a blatant attack and halted trade negotiations. Even threatening new tariffs, Canada then suspended collection of the tax, which was due, and announced plans to repeat it through legislation. White House Economic Advisor Kevin Hassett confirmed that trade talks between Washington and Ottawa are now back on track. The now scrapped digital services tax would have imposed a 3% levy on U.S. tech giants like Amazon, Meta, Google, and Apple, targeting Canadian revenue above $20 million. Canadian Finance Minister Francois Philippe Champagne said that the tax was intended to ensure tech firms paid fairly for revenues generated from Canadians. He emphasized that Canada always preferred a global tax agreement. Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre slammed the move, saying Carney backed down at the 11th hour and urged him to demand the U.S. lift tariff on softwood lumber in return. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick thanked Canada, saying the tax would have stifled American innovation and threatened any future trade deal. The tax, first announced in 2020, was expected to cost tech companies over $2 billion Canadian dollars in its first year, as it would have applied retroactively to July 2022. Ottawa had hoped to raise nearly $6 billion over 5 years.